Tourism and travel. Tourism and travel are commonly used that they are almost always mentioned in the broadsheet. Despite their widespread use, have you ever considered the definition of travel and tourism? What are the components of tourism industry? And who has the right to use the term tourist? Travel refers to the movement of people or things including vehicles such as trains, boats, airplanes, and other modes of transportation to the various remote geographic areas. Tourism evokes images of travel, vacation, fun, excursion, tourist destination, historical of beautiful sight, and departure of arrival. The tourism industry primary mission is to provide delightful and pleasurable experiences. As a result of the term tourism refers to the wide range of social behavior and experiences that indicate a break from everyday life. Some characteristics of this are tourism includes travel as well as services such as lodging, dining, and entertainment. Tourism can offer both direct and indirect benefits to leisure and health. There are numerous tourist types of vacation options. Now we're moving on to the advantages of contract. Contracts are essential in every circumstance because they specify expectations, commitments, and duties of the parties of how the particular situation will be handled, who will be liable for paying for damages and losses, where a lawsuit may be filed in which country of state, and other specifics. A pledge of agreement made in writing recognized by the courts in the hospitality industry known as the contract. To put in another way, it is a set of rules that regulate the character, boundaries, and legitimacy of the contract between two or more parties.
So for number 3, how expensive or affordable are the services of a lawyer in drafting a contract? So it depends on what kind of contract. The Integrated Bar of the Philippines set for guidelines for the notarial services rates. So for simple documents, the fees will range from 500 to 1,500 pesos. So for the preparation of the contract or agreements and deed of conveyances, deed of sales, contract of lease, and etc., the fair market value of the property will be taken into consideration. So the interviewee works in the government, so she does not have any personal experiences in collecting fees for notarial services rate. So for number 4, why right to travel is important? Is the right to travel a Filipino absolute or exception? So, right to travel is a constitutionally protected right. It is a part of liberty of a citizen, cannot be deprived without due process of law and on clear compelling grounds. So, not absolute because it is subject to the following exceptions. Number 1, in the interest of national security. Number 2, public safety. Number 3, public health. Number 4 is as might be provided by the law. So for the legal basis, Section 6, Article 3, Bill of Rights, the liberty of abode and of changing the same within the limits prescribed by the law shall not be impaired except upon lawful order of the court. Neither shall the right to travel be impaired except in the interest of national security, public safety, or public health, as may be provided by the law or GRO law.
For the number 6, we have the rights of hotel guests. For the right against discrimination, we are talking about different race, color, or sexual preference should not be denied entry. For the security, hotels have a duty to make the premises safe and protect guests from criminals and destructive individuals. For the safety, hotels are required to maintain the facility in a safe condition and removing hazardous conditions. And for the refund, if the booking is refundable and if the request is within the period, the guests have the right to ask indemnity for damage and personal property which is attributable to the hotel. Normally, there is a notice which provides that hotel is not responsible for loss, theft, or damage of your property. But if the damage is done by employer, for instance in carrying your luggage, you may ask for indemnity. Right against unreasonable searches, right to privacy with regard to your personal information, as they are obliged to keep it confidential.
Number 7, laws that can safeguard the ethical conduct of travel agencies. Rules and regulations to govern the accreditation of travel and tour services dated September 26, 1995. Section 1, definition of terms. For purposes of these rules, the following shall mean. First is tour operator means an entity engaged in the business of extending to individuals or groups such as arrangement of bookings and transportation and accommodation, handling and conduct of inbound tours whether or not for a fee, commission, or any form of compensation. Second is inbound tour means a tour in the Philippines or within the Philippines. Third is accreditation, a certification issued by the department that the holder is recognized by the department as having complied with its minimum standards in the operation of the establishment concerned. And the fourth one is tour guide. Shall mean an individual who guides tourists, both foreign and domestic, for a fee, commission, or any other form of lawful remuneration. Last one is tourist land transportation operator, a person or entity which may either be a single proprietorship, partnership, or corporation, regularly engaged in providing for a fee or lawful consideration tourist transport services as hereinafter defined, either a charter or regular run. Chapter 2, Requirements for Accreditation of Tour Operator. Section 2, Who may apply for accreditation? First, a resident Filipino citizen. Second, a partnership organized under the law of Philippines, at least 60% of its capital being owned by Filipino citizen. Third is corporation organized under the law of the Philippines, at least 60% of the subscribed common or voting shares of stocks of which is owned by Filipino citizens, and the commission of its board of director being at least 60% Filipinos. Section 3. Purposes or accreditation, the following are the supporting documents to be submitted with the applicants. In case of single proprietorship, a business name certificate and all amendments thereto. In the case of partnership or corporations, a certified true copy of the articles of partnership, incorporation, and its by laws and amendments. For alien officers and employments, a valid visa from BIR, and the proper permit from the Department of Labor and Employment. Section 4. Minimum office requirements. First, it shall be located in commercial district and not in a residential district. Second, it must be easily identifiable and shall be used exclusive for the tour operation business. Section 5. Accreditation fee. After compliance with all the requirements under these rules and certificate of accreditation, shall be issued to the applicant upon payment of an accreditation fee of 1,100 pesos per annum for main office and 550 pesos for each branch. Section 7. Validity of accreditation. The certificate of accreditation shall be valid for a period of 1 year from the date of issue thereof. Section 8. Access of department representative to agency records. There is the representative of tile department shall have access to agency's record for verification of compliance with the requirements of the department. Chapter 3. Requirements for accreditation of tour guides. Section 9. Requirements for issuance of accreditation. First is proof that the applicant have passed a seminar for tour guides duly conducted by the department or other agency that authorized by the department to conduct the seminar. However, that this requirement may be waived by the department where the applicant possesses special academic or professional qualification relevant to tourism. Second is certificate of good health issued by any duly accredited government physician. And third is clearance from the NBI. In case of the alien applicants, valid visa from BIR and the proper permit from the Department of Labor and Employment. And the fourth one is mayor permit or municipal license. Fifth is latest income tax return. And the last one is such other documents that the department may require from time to time. Chapter 4. Supervision of operation of travel and tour services. The accreditation certificate should be inspected at a decent time of day with proper care and respect. Checklist to be accomplished during ocular inspection of the establishment. The DOT inspection team must prepare a checklist of the criteria for defects and deficiencies found during the inspection. If deficiencies are discovered in the courses or during the inspection, the department shall direct the manager or operator to rectify the defects and deficiency with a responsible period of the defects or deficiency. Or the department may revoke the establishment certificate of accreditation. Chapter 5. Grounds for cancellation of accreditation. Accreditation grounds for revocation has any of these following acts or omission shall be sufficient grounds for the tourist establishment accreditation to be revoked. First, making any false declaration or statement or any document containing the same or committing crude or other act of deception in order to get accreditation. Violation or non-compliance with any of terms of these rules, published directives, judgment, and circulars issued by the department and other government authorized involved. Any such act of omission that is detrimental to the tourist sector. Article 26 of the Labor Code of the Philippines. Article 26 is illegal
for travel agency to recruit. Travel agency and airline sales office are not permitted to engage in the business of recruiting and placing individuals for a abroad employment, whether for profit or not.
Number 8. Laws that govern restaurants, caterers, bars, health and fitness clubs, spas, and entertainment outlets. Under this law, it is all about rules and regulations to govern the accreditation of tourism-related. It includes important provisions with the definitions of the terms such as A. Restaurant. Any establishment offering to the public refreshment and/or meals. B. Department store. A store that sells or carries several lines of merchandise and that is organized into separate sections for the purpose of promotion, service, accounting, and control. C. Shop. A small retail establishment offering a lines of goods or services. D. Sports and recreation club or center. Any establishment offering sports and recreation facilities to tourists and to the general public. E. Museum. An institutional establishment where a collection of valuable objects and artifacts on history and culture, arts and sciences are put on exhibition for the general public. F. Training center. Any establishment which offers one or more training programs for tourist manpower development and which is equipped with training facilities, equipment, and instructional staff. This law also includes standard requirements for the purposes of accreditation. These requirements must be complied. For restaurants, number 1, the locality and environs. Number 2, the facade and architectural features of the building with parking, reception, and dining room. Number 3, cuisine. Number 4, menu book or card. Number 5, linen. Number 6, crockery. For sports and recreational club, the locality and environs including approaches shall be pleasant with proper ingress and egress. The facade and architectural features shall be appropriately designed. Adequate and secured parking space to customers. Adequate security shall be provided at all times. A receptionist shall be available to usher in guests. A waiting lounge with telephone shall also be provided. There shall be a dining outlet adequate in size with pleasant atmosphere and furnished with appropriate and well-maintained furniture. There shall be adequate sports and recreational equipment available for rent. There shall be provided adequate and accessible toilet facilities separately for most female and male. There shall be adequate number of lockers for male and also female. For training center, the classroom shall be able to accommodate a minimum of 20 trainees per class. Fixtures shall be also designed to ensure an atmosphere conducive to training. There shall be a separate male and female restrooms. There shall be a refreshment or dining area accessible to the trainee. The center shall be provided with classroom complete with basic facilities, equipment, and supplies needed in conducting a trainee program. Workshop or on-the-job facilities and equipment depending on the training programs being offered. There shall be a reading room adequately provided with relevant reference materials, books, journals, magazines, and the like. There shall be tool or storage facilities provided. The training program shall respond to the needs of tourism industry. Its objectives shall be clearly defined, realistic, and attainable. Topics shall be in proper and logical sequence with due consideration to effectiveness of presentation in terms of trainee comprehension. There shall be an effective, simple, and comprehensive presentation of topics. Minimum qualifications of participants shall be based on the standards acceptable to the tourism industry. The instructional staff shall have thorough experience and knowledge on the subject matter and effective communication skills and teaching style. The training program shall carry effective monitoring and evaluation tools. Trainer or faculty must have successfully completed the Training the Trainers Program of the Department of Tourism and the Tourism Industry Board Foundation.
For renewal of accreditation, the application for the renewal of accreditation shall be supported by the following. First, list of all training program conducted during the previous year, including the number of enrollees and graduates. Second, list of successful graduates per training program, including skills acquired and respective places of employment. And also, general rules on the operation and maintenance of tourism-related establishments must be observed, such as: first, we have firefighting facilities. Second, maintenance. Third, air condition or ventilation. Fourth, prohibited acts and practices. Or, no pets or animals shall be allowed within the premises. Abandoned vendors shall be prohibited. All forms of gambling, drunkenness, disorderly conduction of any shall be prohibited in the establishment. For the application for accreditation, filling of application. Letter A, we have supporting documents to be submitted with application. Letter B, creation of an inspection team of 2 officials. After the application has been filed, the department shall create an inspection to the team composed of 2 members from the department. Letter C, ocular inspection of establishment and its immediate premises. Letter D is to be accomplished during ocular inspection of establishments. Next, letter E, all observation of the application to be entered in the checklist. Letter F, report of the team within 5 days from the date of inspected the establishment. Letter I, insurance of certificate of accreditation. Letter J, validity of certification of accreditation. And the last letter, letter K, accreditation fees. For the renewal of accreditation, we have under section 26, documents required for application of renewal of accreditation. The application of renewal of accreditation shall be supported by the following documents. Letter A, we have a copy of the amended or revised article of incorporation of the articles of partnership and bylaws, if applicable. Letter B, the list and information sheets of additional personnel, if any, including any changes in the manpower application of the company. Letter C, audited financial statement and income tax return covering the preceding year's operation, provided that of these requirements is not available at the time of renewal, to the same shall be submitted not later than April 30 of the current year. And the letter D, mayor's permit or municipal license. Once it was accredited, supervision must be observed, such as: number 1, display of certificate of accreditation. Number 2, non-transferability of certificate of accreditation. Number 3, periodic inspection. Number 4, defects and deficiencies found during the inspection. Number 5, penalty of failure to remedy the defects and deficiencies. And number 6, liability of keepers or manager of acts or mission of its employee. Grounds for cancellation of accreditation. Ground for cancelling of accreditation. Any of the following acts or missions shall be sufficient ground for the cancellation of accreditation. Letter A, we have making any false declaration or statement or making use of any such declaration or statement or any documents containing the same or committing fraud or any act of misinterpretation for the purpose of obligation grant of accreditation. Letter B, failure to maintain the standards and requirements for accreditation as prescribed in these rules. Letter C, violation of or non-compliance with any of the provision of these rules, promulgated orders, discussions, and circular issues by the department and other concerned government agency, and letter D, any other act of omission that works against the internet of the tourist industry.
And for the number 9, laws that can help the preservation of our natural resources, especially tourism purposes, Philippine environmental laws. For number 1, Executive Order Number 79, institutionalizing and implementing reforms in the Philippines mining sector, providing policies and guidelines to ensure environmental protection and responsible mining in the utilization of mineral resources. For the number 2, Republic Act Number 9147, July 30, 2001, an act providing for the conservation and protection of wildlife resources and their habitats, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. And for number 3, Republic Act Number 9072, National Canvas and Cave Resources Management and Protection Act. For the number 4, Republic Act Number 7611, an act adopting the Strategic Environmental Plan for Palawan, creating the administrative machinery for its implementation, converting the Palawan Integrated Area Development Project Office to its support staff, providing funds therefore and for the other purposes. And for the number 5, Republic Act Number 4850, July 18, 1966, an act creating the Laguna Lake Development Authority, prescribing its powers, functions, and duties, providing funds therefore and for other purposes.
The Article 1919 is when the depository by force majeure order loses thing and receive money. It required to deliver the money they received to the depositor. This is law for security where it ensured that the money will deliver with the exact amount. The second is Article 2000. The Article 2000 is referring to the property and safeness of the guest, where it ensured that the guest will receive a right treatment if there is a loss of things or injury that caused by the employees or even strangers. But this is not part of the force majeure, and this is just about the right of the guest if there is an unexpected thing happen. And the third is Article 1998 and 1999. Is now referring to the safeness and precaution to the travelers, important things like vehicles and many more. The keeper has a responsibility to take care and look for it. But the keepers are not liable or responsible if there is a bad thing happen due to force majeure because that is unexpected. And the Article 2000 is referring to the thief or robber who entered the hotel. Robber who entered in a hotel not considered as force majeure unless the robber has guns and force to do an act that will harm people. And Article 1734 is a law that is responsible to do with the loss, destruction, or deterioration of the goods. And here are the things to be considered. First, if there is a natural disaster or calamity like flood, earthquake, and many more. Second, the cancellation of flight because of COVID-19 airlines. And third, asking for refund of ticket because if there is a big reason, the airlines will consider it the approve and the refund.